Hey, my name is Sam and welcome. So I'm in the middle, or I'm in the beginning of doing a series to see if I can change my life in 6 months. I uploaded one video and then I fell off for 2 months. So this is going to be a quick catch up, and then I want to dive back into getting back into like the groove in the month of August and trying to be a little bit more consistent this month. And I'm going to catch you up on June and July real quick before we dive back in. So, to make it quick, after I uploaded the first video, which is at the end of May, I packed up my car, my cat, and my dog, and we drove up to New York. I ended up going there for my mom's birthday, but I stayed for the whole month of June because I ended up realizing that I wanted to spend the summer in New York. And I had friends and family that I was really catching up with. And so I decided, you know what, I'll stay the month and then I'll go back to Florida in July, and then I'll start the series back in July. So even though I recorded a couple things in June, once I missed my intended upload date, I was like, I'm pushing this back to July. I just wanted to give myself some like uninterrupted time with like friends and family in New York. So it was kind of, a little bit of like a vacation vibe. So beginning of July, I drive back with my cat and my dog to Florida. And I'm getting back into the groove of things, trying to like start the challenge again. I started recording, and then my dog ended up getting really sick. And throughout the month of July, I was in and out of the vet with her and the emergency vet and all these other places. And they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And then she ended up passing, which is really hard for me because it was only like a couple days away from her birthday. So I gave myself time to grieve and like ground myself and kind of take care of myself and get myself together after that. But I knew that starting August, I would have to pick myself back up and get back into the groove of things again. So that's what ended up happening in the month of June and July. So now we're picking the series back up in August. Yeah, I'm just going to dive back in. I'm not too sure if this episode is going to be very good. I think it might be just a bunch of random clips from this first week of August, but hopefully I get better at putting these episodes together as time passes. But time has been hard right now, so I just need a little break. But I'm ready to jump back in. I'm ready to find purpose. And I think that this journey will definitely ground me. And I think that the well-roundedness of the pillars that I have going on is really going to be good for my mental health. So we'll see how this process goes. But yeah, I'm back. I'm diving back in. Hey, so I'm going on a bike ride and I want to try a new hairstyle. It was a part of my aesthetics pillar to, try new hairstyles. I usually either just wear my hair out or I put it in a bun and I put a hat on. So I want to try something different. So this is what my hair is looking like right now. It's grown a lot. It actually was super short before. And I actually need to get it trimmed because these front pieces are definitely supposed to be a little shorter and more like face framing. But I think that this will really work for a lot of different hairstyles. I have more, hang time to work with. So I'm kind of excited. And I didn't mention it before, but I'm actually doing a bubble ponytail kind of style. I found this inspo photo. So I am going to take this hair tie and I am putting my hair in a mid ponytail. So not too high, but you don't want it low so you can get like the hang time. Well, I don't want it low. I don't want to tell you what to do. But I am sticking to around the middle of my head. I think that for workouts, this is good for me because it's always like where the hat hole goes in the back of my head. So yeah, not I actually didn't wear a hat with this, but like, just in case I wanted to. This is kind of the perfect height for me. So I'm gonna use these like fine hair ties to now do like the bubble ties within like the ponytail. With this first bubble, I'm really trying in my mind to kind of get this bubble to be at a bit of like a right angle. Like I'm thinking like, okay, the ponytail is coming out of the side of my head, but I need it now to face downward, if that makes any sense. Like, I guess in my mind, because of my textured hair, I know that I need to do a little bit more folding, or else this bubble ponytail is literally going to be like a unicorn's horn out the back of my head. So I am trying to pull the hair and finesse it so that it like faces downward, and you'll be able to see like more of this later when I turn around. But that's kind of the intention behind like the first bubble, and then everything after that I can just like, you know, kind of put a hair tie in and just like go downward. But I wanted that first bubble to not like go directly straight out the back of my head. Honestly, when I turned around and I actually saw like what this looked like, I was like, is this kind of a vibe? I kind of like, it's a little weird, but like I kind of like it. There's something kind of like Star Warsy to it in my mind for some reason. Bear with me. So right now I'm trying to make sure that the bubbles are evenly spaced and that they're pulling out some of the hair so it's more bubbly. And so now I'm going to speed this up. I'm adding 2 more hair ties, seeing how many like bubbles I can get overall, and then I'm shaping it. So as I go, I'm trying to like pull some hair out and kind of, you know, just make the bubbles look more full and more fluffy and more round. So I actually didn't do a good job of really cleaning up the front of my hair. I just was like, I need to do this and go. I kind of liked it though. I want to try this again and like really clean up the front. I think that this would even look cute with like a hat. I didn't wear a hat, but like, yeah, I think that this actually looks like pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think? Admittedly, I've been procrastinating when it comes to strength training. I've been pretty good with being consistent with cardio and with cooking at home and eating healthier. I didn't take pictures of all of my meals, but here's a sample of what my breakfast usually looks like. My breakfasts are usually like the most colorful, and I try to be intentional about getting fruits and vegetables because I know that I like taper off throughout the day. Definitely not perfect. I know I shouldn't be eating that bacon, but it's helping me transition from like eating out and buying food outside or cooking bad food at home to cooking better food at home and just being more intentional about like what I'm putting in my body. I think I'm doing pretty good considering that this is kind of me still getting into it, but as I learn more recipes, I'm hoping to make more complex meals. This is delicious.
Hey, okay, so I have a Ninja Creamy that I was gifted from my mom, and it is pouring rain right now, and I am in the middle of like my time of the month, so I decided to make some ice cream. I want to take you along with me. I've used this machine like once before, and I made the ice cream like a little bit too sweet, but I found like a really popular TikTok recipe that is like high in protein and it's like better for you. It has more natural sweeteners and stuff like that. So I am making an Oreos cookies and cream like McFlurry kind of ice cream right now. So come join me. So, I am taking some time to go through all of my plants and look at what needs to be propagated, what needs to be pruned. It's been it's been a minute. Some of these are looking quite worn down. Some of these plants I had at my mom's house while I was doing my cross country road trip and then while I was living in Miami. So some of them I got back from my mom's house and they look a little worn and torn. And some of them, I tend to feel like my plants reflect my mental health. And so clearly I've been going through a lot. And so some of them are doing well on and off. You can see that like this one, for instance, is like stringy at the top and it's like kind of like finally growing some like leaves back, but it just looks really like straggly. So I just kind of want to go through some of these plants and like propagate things that I need to propagate or repot. This needs a new pot, obviously. And then there are some that I want to put together. So this like cutting of this vine is ready to go into this pot and make it look a lot more full. And then eventually it'll start to like overflow out the pot and stuff like that. So I'm just like gonna take some time, put on some music, go through all of these plants and do some befores and afters. And hopefully, this along with like the other things that I'm doing at the end of the 6 months, we'll see what all of these like, what my garden looks like when I really am intentional about it. It's like 5 p.m. So taking some time to just go through my plants, listen to a podcast, and just like zone out. Okay, so I just put the vine, put it into this pot, and I'm hoping that as it hits the sun that the leaves will just look a little bit more, grow a little bit more organic. They do look like they're kind of just awkwardly shooting out the pot. But I have 2 more cuttings. They're not quite ready yet, but as soon as they get more roots, then I'm going to also put these into the pot as well, and then it'll just look, that one has some roots growing in. So then I'll put this into here as well, these 2, and then it'll just make the pot look like just a fuller vine, and hopefully it'll just start like growing out of the pot. Yeah. Okay, so this one looks crazy, just very like long and stringy, and it's like falling out of the pot. I don't know if I overwatered it or what, but I definitely know like these top pieces that have like nothing on them need to be cut off. So I'm gonna go through the top and cut the straggly pieces off so it's not so top heavy and not like falling over so much, and hopefully it'll just get like more bushy at the bottom. And if there's anything that looks like it's worth propagating, I'm just going to trim it and then put it into like some of these like empty vases. Hopefully they'll get some roots and we could have some more plants, but this is the next one I'm working on. Okay, so I didn't want to do too much with this one. I really like popped the top off of the ones that just like really needed the stringiness kind of gone. But I think what I'm gonna do is put this closer to the sun and just be done with this because I don't want to do too much. And then I have some cuttings over here. The ones that have leaves on the top, I'm gonna try and put in water and then see if I could propagate them. And if they just grow more leaves, then I'll just try and like plant them back into here and hopefully just make this plant more bushy. But I think for now this is what I'm gonna do because I don't want to shock it too much, and I think that that's like slow and steady, and I'll take off more if I feel like I need to, but I think I'm done with this one. So I am going to use this pot and I'm going to put this plant into here. Now this plant has like this section here and then this one on this side, and then what I want to do is add this as well as this in the pot as well. Now these are all propagated from like the same plant, and I really just left these in the water way too long and just forgot about them. The roots are still good, the plants are still good. I think what I'm gonna do is like get these like dry crispy pieces off and pull these yellow leaves off, and then fit 1, 2, 3, 4 into this one pot, and then just have them all just grow together and it'll look like big and fluffy. That's the theme, is like to have the plants look really full and healthy and not like yellow and stringy and dried and dead and broken and cracked. And yeah, we're just fixing everything in this house. Okay, I'm not gonna hold you. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good from all angles. It does look like, okay, well, just skip that hole right there. But like, it does look nice and bushy. It looks pretty good. I'm gonna get like a scrub daddy and like take care of this or whatever. But this one looks nice. All right, gonna set this one off to the side. This one is done. Okay, so this is the last one I'm gonna work on today, and it is looking straggly. I actually left this one out in the sun for a little too long, and like the leaves burnt and like some of the leaves fell off like in the middle and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be cutting this one down like I guess pretty, significantly. With these two leaves up here, I'm thinking that I could like cut this top off and like propagate it. And then I'm gonna cut this little like top piece off here and like this top piece off here as well. And my hands are so freaking dry. So this is like the last one I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna wash my hands and move on with my evening. But yeah. Okay. I know this looks crazy wonky, especially with this like big leaf right here. But this is as much as I'm gonna trim it down for now, and then I'm just gonna kind of like leave it with the sun so that hopefully it like starts to lean back over, because it's definitely leaning to one side right now and it looks crazy, but I don't want to shock it too much. And this is what I have left over, and I'm gonna try and put these in water and see if anything comes of these, but we will see about that. And then I wanted to share something else. Actually, I got in the mail, my mom sent it to me, I thought it was so cute. A moleskin wellness journal with a pen, which is so dope. It's kind of like, I love green, like that's my favorite color. So she kind of like stuck within like this green theme. So that's like super cute. Yeah, I'm excited to like open this. It's sealed in plastic, but I'm excited to open this and play around with this. But this is kind of dope. Wellness journal. She is definitely like super supportive whenever I'm like working on something. So this is cute and gives me a little something to get lost in. Yeah, shout out to mom. Okay, so I have the propagated cuttings from the plant that I did earlier. I have the two vine cuttings that I just had previously that I just left there from before. We didn't touch it. And then I have these newly cut pieces that are propagating now in these cute little vases that I put here in the window. And then hopefully they get some roots pretty quickly, and I can just like repot them back in the same pots, and they can just like make that one plant just look super bushy and nice and full instead of like straggly. And I could really pull these together, but this is what we have left over. So let's see how this grows.
I forgot to film an outro, so I just put in this clip of me biking to the beach. Um, I hope that y'all had a better summer than I did, and I hope that we all have a better August. Um, and if you made it to the end, you're a real one. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.